Okay, so welcome everybody who's so far come on the line, so to speak. 1st of June, hence I was playing summertime in the summertime because we are officially hitting summertime. And even though today we've got a little bit of rain on the 1st of June 2026. So welcome everybody. I really appreciate you coming on today. And what would be quite nice is just to bring everyone into cohesion by asking you to just forget everything that's gone on before you got here and just bring your attention into yourself. So you may want to close your eyes and just notice your breathing and bring yourself into a place of going within so that you can just forget everything that's gone on before you got here and that you can bring yourself fully into the presence of being on the People Speaks Out with S.A.S on the 1st of June 2026. So just have a few moments of silence, and it's just really so you can just check in with yourself, notice how you're feeling, how you're breathing, if you're holding any tension, because it's good to get it out and just relax through the breath. So I just recommend that we take a few deep breaths through the nose and just imagine that breath has just been filling up your belly. So give yourself some really nice oxygen before we start this session and start chatting to everybody. So I just ask you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. The top of the breath, hold, 2, 3, and then just relax. Just notice what's going on with yourself right now. Where are you? Are you able to be present? Are there lots of thoughts swirling around your mind? Have you got loads of things you want to bring to the table today? Or are you able just to bring yourself into the state of presence and relaxation? So empty all the air out of your lungs and then just take another nice deep breath in. Hold, and then just let everything go. And then just one more time, welcome anyone who's coming in. We're just bringing ourselves into a state of presence and relaxation through the breath. Just one nice deep breath through the nose, into the belly. Hold at the top of the breath. Hold, and then just releasing everything, letting everything go. So I'm just sending out lots of love to you all, lots of connection, welcoming you all in from wherever you've come from today. And just see how you feel on the first of our new season. Supposedly, as we know, all these sort of calendars been messed around, and we've actually got 13 months. So officially, the 1st of May was actually the summer. However, for Gregorian purposes, we've got June, July, and August as our next 3 months of summer. So I'm one of the subjects, because obviously we're coming into holiday season. Rachel's already explained that she lives in holiday or on holiday all the time. I don't know whether everybody else is as lucky to live in a place of holidaying and frivolity by the sea. But are any of you planning on going abroad? And my question is, how are you going to cope with all the shenanigans going on at the airports, which is the biometrics harvesting of your fingerprints, your iris scanning, and your other biometrics, anything they can basically, any data they can get on you. Is anybody planning on doing it? Are you put off going abroad because of that? Especially if you've got children, you're going on school holidays. Can you imagine standing for a few hours in the airport, getting very frustrated with your children? So is that going to determine whether you're going to have a staycation or whether you're going to go abroad? And how do we feel about our data in that way being harvested? And has anybody already done it? Has anybody already had their biometrics taken at the airport so they can enter into Europe? Not really much benefits to leaving Europe. I think we all thought there'd be a lot of interest, a lot of benefits from leaving the EU, but it just seems like they're piling on more more barriers to get in there. So yes, that's a subject. I'd love anyone who'd like to put their hand up. And just to remind everybody that the tool for your hand is the react button. So if you go down to the button, just in case you're new, if you go down to the react button at the bottom of your screen, so along there you should have audio, and when you ask to speak, you can unmute yourself with the audio. We've got obviously the camera, which I can see everybody on, apart from a couple of people who may not want to come on, but we do encourage you because we love to see the faces of everybody on the screen. So the react button's down below, and if you put your hand up, there's a yellow hand you can put up. It means that you come to the top of the screen and we can have a discussion, or you can share whatever. So that's one of the subjects. Are we put off going abroad, having to go through all the shenanigans at the airport they're currently putting in place, or they're trying to? A few countries have decided to pull the plug on it for the time being, because it's just taking too long and causing too much havoc at the airports. The other thing is, I don't know if anybody has heard of Kambo medicine, which is frog medicine from the Amazon, where people go into a ritual for a cleanse and a detox, and to basically take on the strength of this fearsome frog, which has poison on its back. And apparently when it's in a stressful state, it will release the poison, and it's harvested for rituals. It's been, from time immemorial in the Amazon, but it's now becoming much more popular around outside of the Amazon. And what happens is, I haven't actually done a Kambo ritual medicine experience myself, but I'm interested in anybody who has. So to get the medicine and poison into you, they get some incense stick and they make a couple of marks on your leg or your arm, and that's where they can administer the poison from the frog that then goes straight into your bloodstream, and it can cause you to vomit and cleanse your body like you would do normally, but maybe a bit more violently. Some people, if they're prepared properly, may not have that as much, but it's all been in the news recently because somebody has died. Now, we don't know the state of this person. We don't know whether they had contraindications, whether they were the trained practitioner. So you've got to use your due diligence with these things, because you're not messing with some little instrument of death. That's what you're messing with potentially. But it's also, people say they have this immense strength and they feel so clear and so vibrant and so alive when they've had it. Do you think, take frog medicine? Do you think adults should be allowed with full consent to be able to do what they like with their own bodies? And if they want to take poison and go into the medicine of the frog, then they should be allowed to, as long as they're aware of all the contraindications and they have proper training with the practitioner that they're working with. So that's another thing, Kambo medicines. Anybody use Kambo? Would anybody like to try it? I haven't got anyone I can advocate, but there are plenty of practitioners around that have been trained. So, or do you feel that those kind of things should stay where they originated from? Should we bring these things out of their original natural environment and take it into the West, or take it around the world? How do we feel about that? But that's up in the news at the moment. Not that I listen to much news, because as we know, it's all caca, most of it anyway. So I try and tune in my own telepathic way and are drawn towards certain bits of information that I feel is something that I want to hear about. But anyway, Kambo is very interesting. And I've also heard on the grapevine that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is about to spill the beans on his brother, and maybe on some of the other members of the royal family. But it's quite the information that he may well be spilling the beans, or already has. I don't know. Maybe they're holding it together and haven't shared it yet. But there's a lot of information I've seen going around that he's going to spill the beans on his brother, the king, about some of the rituals, very distasteful and murderous rituals that he's been involved in, allegedly. So has anybody got any further information about that? And how do you feel about this disclosure? And more of it's coming out, which can be quite shocking for people if they have no idea and are a royalist and think they're all very sweet and lovely. And this information is going to decimate that view. So that'd be really interesting. And then my final bit is, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the water board, because of all sorts of reasons, but mainly because of the disgusting state of our water, the amount of sewage that the water boards allow to leak into rivers and into our seas. And it's full of poison, basically, of fluoride and lead and all sorts of nasty things. There's a whole list of stuff that you can find out that's in your water, in your local water, from the local water authority. How do you feel about paying for something which was given to us for free? The land was given to us for free, all the food, the rivers, the fish, all the animals, the herbs. Do we feel it is a complete and utter travesty that we have to pay for something which is given naturally? So how do you feel about that? So those are a few little tempting bits of information that you may want to respond to, or you might have your own, that you have your own issue that's coming up around something in the news or something that's happening in your area or something that's happening to you that you want to share. Would all be very, very interested to hear. So I'm going to come over to Althea, who has got a hand up. I'm very interested to hear about your new position, Althea, because I'm a great fan of the Sovereign Project. So perhaps maybe that's what you want to share, or something else. I don't know. But if you'd like to unmute yourself, we'll come over to Althea, and I'll take it in turns from who's come up across the top. So please, if you feel like responding, just put your hand up, and then I'll come to you when it's your turn. Okay, lovely. Over to you, Althea. You need to unmute yourself, darling.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Everyone can hear.
Houston, can you hear me? And before we get into shenanigans, just want to put a few R's into everybody.
Oh, that is so cute. What's her
Just
name?
little. There's four of them and they're just. I think they're how old? They must be 3 weeks old or something, 2 or 3 weeks. Little darlings. Oh, little scrunch. Let's
Gorgeous.
get us in the right mood.
Congratulations
Um.
on your new
So
position.
yeah, I just Thank you, sir. Just to say that who doesn't know already that Sovereign Project live with Pete Stone and Carl Deans. It's Sovereign Project live, and it's all about Sovereign Project and parking tickets and shenanigans and all sorts. And they've just started. They invited me to present Sovereign Project TV, so I'm interviewing all sorts of interesting people, having their share of views, like a bit like we're doing here, actually, and people who are deep dived into that sort of thing. We had Mark Hamer and Sandy Adams, all sorts of interesting people. So that's all happening. It was really exciting. And it is a paid platform. It's £3 a month, but they've done that so that we can have it's free speech and anyone can say anything at all, and it's up to the individual who'd have thought to make your own mind up to have your views, and all views are accepted, and it's all about that. So a bit like we're doing here, to have free speech about what we want to say. Um, yeah, Sass, you're talking about biometrics and all that, and um, I feel a bit concerned about it, like lots of us, I'm sure, that when I've been through the airport, you can avoid the iris thing and the hand thing. But I mean, you feel like cattle, don't you? You have to go through all this plastic, digital eyes on you and whatever. And you can actually say no, but then, okay, well, can you stand over there? And then it's sort of half an hour, and then is it okay? And she wants to do that. And who are you? And what your passport? And already it's probably it was for us that we went to Thailand. It was a very long trip, and 15 hours in the flight, and it's tiring, and you just want to get home. Then it's queues here and queues, and it's a long. I I I don't know how disabled or elderly or people with children manage. I really, really don't. It was tough going, and I'm an able adult, so I don't know how people do it. But yeah, you can avoid it, but um it's like with the COVID show, isn't it? They made it anti-vax. It's very difficult. Everyone's against you. You take the vax, come right in. Here's a donut. So, but yeah, I'm noticing that this digital ideas feel like it's. I see it sort of creeping in around the back end, and I mean, I'm just selling my kittens at the moment and putting it on the selling sites, Pets for Homes, just, regular business. And they want my passport, they want my driving license,
Oh my
a
goodness.
digital ID. And I read them and said, is that legal? And show me the act or statute that I was doing my bit. And they said, well, no, it isn't. But you can't use our services if you don't. No, and I think that's what I see as what's happening. I took my company off company's house, and from the back end of that we are the provider, we are the creativity, we are the energy that they feed off.
Mm.
We are the ones that go out and blood, sweat, and tears in our businesses and work and create. We're where the creation comes from because of course we know that on the satanic side of things, they don't have creativity. We do. So it's like how to squeeze the money out of us, how to squeeze the life energy out of us. So I don't know how we're going to avoid all that. Is if that's true, if my understanding is correct, how do we get around that? I don't know. I don't know. So I'm learning the Sovereign Project too, and going to their lessons and classes and all that, and finding out what that's all about. It's quite full on,
Yeah.
and you have to grow a pair to
Yeah.
get in there because
You
it's
you really
you
do.
know you really do because we're so indoctrinated, aren't we? Way back to school. And I was just looking at this thing this morning, this little thing I shared with my children, my teenage children, that um, it was all scripted, especially from the 1930s. They don't want thinkers, and they don't want thinkers, do they? David's nodding, and they want workers. So that's my observation. And the other thing I wanted to bring in is that have you noticed on UK column, poor old Sandy Adams and Debbie Adams who had the thump. So I don't know whose side you're on. It doesn't matter about sides, does it? But I guess that's if you know about the UK column and those two people, I think they're great, and all three of them, all the group. Um, I mean, my personal view, I find that I've gone off UK column because it's all full on war, and it's just too heavy for me. I can't take all the heaviness, so I've backed off a bit myself. But still, I've met all of them, and I think they're a great endeavorous group of highly researched and heart-centered people driven men mostly, I think. But yeah, a bit warfied, but I don't know, I guess people split and break up and there's nothing wrong with anybody, it's just difference of opinions, I suppose. I don't know, but anyway, I mentioned that shenanigans going on because it's recent, isn't it, if anyone knows about that. That's my bit.
Thank you.
um yeah.
So can I just ask you, Althea, before when you go through the airport, do you opt out of the radiation screening because it's a very high dose of radiation?
Yeah,
Um,
well,
have you?
well, I thought about it. I saw those people it was a big room and they had all these gate things you go through. By that time we've had a 15-hour flight. And as I said, it's tiring and you just want to get home, don't you? And then the kids are going, no, mom, don't.
Don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me.
Yeah, they've been to the COVID show with me and they know all about that. So they're very wide awake, which is great. But you take your choices and pick your battles. And I don't know, it's hard work to go against the mountain, pushing up mud, isn't it? It's just that's the way I got it. So
Yeah,
it is difficult.
it is to stand in your power, but that's how. In order to move away from the parent corporation of someone like doing everything for you, we've got to grow up, which includes standing in your power and saying, actually, I am not going through that radiation chamber because it's given me a very large dose of radiation, which we know is causes cancer. So how can they enforce it? I don't think they can. Has anybody else tried to refuse or to ask for another option? I think you can be patted down. I think when last time I went through it, I said, "Oh, I can't go through that. It sets off um, my aneurysm or something like that. I can't remember what I said now, but something to do with my health." And they said, and they went and actually opened up the little metal thing to go through, but they wouldn't have done had you not asked. So I always say ask if they insist that you go through that because it shows you naked as well, isn't it? So there's obviously privacy matters and indecency matters as well. So I wonder what
I
anybody else.
don't, yeah, that's quite shocking, isn't it? I mean, I was at the Natural History Museum. The father of children works there, so we've been there many, many times. And they had this. Um, you walk into this dark room, and the whole one wall was a coloured screen of some kind of film filming you. And I was like, gosh, that's interesting. Look at that. And I was like, all the hot spots on your body. And I suddenly realized I'm naked, goodness
I
sake. And this guy
know.
was looking at the screen. I was like, oh my God.
It's just such an infringement, isn't it, on
I
your
mean, I
privacy?
know because it's not your naked, but you can see, obviously, you can see all your bits. And, all your, put it a bit graphically, you can see your boobs and your nipples and your bits. And it's like,
No,
oh, look at that.
I
I
absolutely
didn't realize
no.
what I was looking at until I suddenly realized I was shot behind the kids. I was, oh my gosh, jumped out of there.
I think we just need to keep saying I
It's,
do not consent.
oh my goodness.
So
Totally. That's me done.
thank you, Althea, and
Good point. Good
yeah,
point, Sass.
thanks a
And
lot.
thanks both of you for making this brilliant space because we can just talk, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just
absolutely. That was
express
cool.
talk, which is
We
valuable. Thank you so much.
be free to be you, and that's what we love is authentic conversations without any holes barred. Okay, thank you. I'm going to go over to let me just acknowledge David Baines. I'm acknowledging that you want to speak, but I will come to you after the other two because they put their hands up. So I'm just doing it in sort of order to make it fair. Whoever puts their hands up first, but I'll come to you. So there'll be Rachel, David Love, um, then you, David, and then you, Eileen. Is that all right? Okay, lovely. Thanks. If you'd like to unmute yourself, Rachel, we'd love to hear what you'd like to share today.
Hey, Sass. So, a few things. The thing that I was reading this morning is about AI data centers and the shocking truth of what's been happening. And oh my goodness, I didn't actually quite realize the extent of these AI data centers. And it's all being funded by BlackRock. They are absolutely ginormous, like several Tesco supermarkets big.
Mm,
They use like as much electricity as a city, and they require as much water as a city to cool them. And they're all being built by BlackRock
mm,
to basically drive total AI facial recognition surveillance. I mean, and that's what's behind the airport machines ultimately. So it's really serious what's going on. I didn't actually quite realize. So I just wanted to mention that. I'll post a link to the Substack. It's a very detailed Substack about the with all the detail. And I noticed Erin Brockovich, she did that. There was that movie about her, wasn't there, sort of
yeah.
a few decades ago. I think she's quite involved in exposing this because they are literally covering the planet. It's really, really shocking. And a couple of other things. First of all, you said about being on permanent holiday. Well, it was the English Riviera Air Show here this weekend. So on Saturday, we saw the red arrows, which was actually, people say, oh, chemtrails. Actually, their trails disappeared. So they weren't chemtrails, just so you know.
I noticed.
And, and they were actually quite sweet. But then yesterday, we happened to be down at the Brixham Harbour, just having out on the balcony, just having a glass of wine, and this gigantic RAF Typhoon fighter jet was circling the bay, and everyone's going, "Ooh, wow!" And I'm thinking, "Oh my goodness, that's what it must be like to be in Gaza." Like having one of those flying over, and it really just it was really interesting to see the awe and wonder of the people go, "Ooh," and like dad saying to their son, "Oh, look at the fire coming out of its exhaust or whatever." But of course, these are killing machines. That
Yeah.
these are the fleet. That's what the RAF used to, for their warplanes ultimately. And it was just such a shocking kind of sort of observation of how much we're in awe of these killing machines. So I just wanted to mention that. And then talking about death, I have actually done Kambo. I've had it Kambo several times, and it's not, just to say, it's not a poison. It's a peptide, and because the Kambo frog, basically, if you eat it, you will die, like a predator, like a snake or a, I don't know, wolf. So it has no, it has no predators, because if you eat it, they die. So everyone avoids the Kambo frog, and it kind of does make you invincible. It's actually quite an incredible jungle medicine. I just want to say on that point, we have to be really aware that what is happening is big pharma are trying to get hold of all of these plant medicines and jungle medicines and make money out of them through creating synthetic versions. And I know this because I got invited to an event at Imperial College London where they were actively planting the seed of propaganda in people's minds that, oh, it's so dangerous. Ayahuasca's really dangerous, and iboga, oh, it's really dangerous, like some backstreet shaman, and you need to go to a proper hospital setting and have it, you know, like, and they showed these rooms, sort of like a hospital room with a, you know, like an electric candle and a incense stick and a few cushions, you know, and it's like, oh, this is the way to do it, like, safely, to keeping you safe. So we have to be aware that there is an active propaganda campaign to scare people into, and that's what they do to regulate stuff. Oh, we need to keep you safe, so we've got to regulate Kambo now, because Kambo is not actually regulated, whereas ayahuasca they've made into a Class A drug, you know. So it's only a matter of time before Kambo's made into a dangerous drug. And then that paves the way for legislation for a synthetic version, and then big pharma make millions, billions out of it. So, like, this is an agenda for sure, you know. So just wanted to mention all that.
What was interesting is just that one person has died, but we don't know the circumstances of what went on and what.
Well, I just looked it up actually, and it's actually brought on a bleed on the brain, from what I can gather. So my last Kambo was a long time before I had my incident, which I don't think was connected. But it sounds like, I mean, it's a very, very intense treatment, and I can imagine, having experienced that it could bring on something like that if you had a weakness.
Yeah. So we don't know that say you had a weakness. So you've got to be discerning about doing these things, and obviously they
it sounds like she had a stroke or a bleed on the brain or something like that, and then died shortly after.
Mention, don't they? How many people have died from the jab around?
I mean, thousands and thousands of people have Kambo all over the world all the time. You know, it's a bit like a freak accident in a motor car or an airplane. Like, it's the kind of that level of,
but as you know, the medical profession is the third leading cause of death. There's failed now, don't they? And all the people that die of medications.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's just interesting because it was highlighted, and obviously I know lots of people who've done Kambo. I know Kambo practitioners, and but I still feel whatever the risk, it's up to the adult and individual as a sovereign being.
Yeah, if you've got fully informed consent and you're causing no harm, injury or loss, you should be able to do what the hell you like. And who has the authority to tell you what you can and can't do, really?
Well, what does everybody else feel about that? Should you be allowed to, as you say, it is peptides, but they call it the poison arrow frog, don't they? Because the indigenous tribes used to put it on their arrows and then shoot it into monkeys and things like that. So they caused it. I think David actually called it the poison frog, but it is peptides, as you're right. But not to be taken lightly. I mean, you've got to set the intention to prepare yourself.
Yeah, all plant medicines should be approached with absolute respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's just obviously that they dive on it as anything that happens in any of those situations, obviously, but they don't highlight all the other things that kill us off in huge droves, like all the chemicals.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to go on.
Anyway,
Obviously, you can come back on, Rachel, if something stimulates you to react or respond. But meanwhile, we'll go over to David Love and Freedom, because he was next on my list, next on my setup. So thank you, David. You'd like to unmute yourself, and then we'll go to David, another David, and then we'll come to Eileen.
I know. Hi, can you hear me okay, S.A.S?
Yes, I'm really well, thank you.
Excellent, good. Well, thank you very much. There's lots of things I could talk about, but something I might focus on is this Kambo medicine.
Yep.
Now, I don't know much about Kambo because I've never tried Kambo. I've heard lots about it. But something I'm very mindful of with regarding the media is that they're constantly trying to find different things that are killing us all the time. I mean, I've seen like stories pop up on the internet about drinking too many cups of tea brings on heart attacks, swimming too vigorously, snoring too loudly. I mean, this is bonkers. And this is it. It's every single day, and yet nobody wants to mention the elephant in the room, which I probably shouldn't be saying on here in case this gets cancelled. But I did my yellow board outreach in Sherborne with my Stand in the Park friends in Dorset and Somerset recently. And one of our banners, which we put on display for the market visitors, is died suddenly why? In big letters, died suddenly why? And there's loads of pictures below this banner of all these people that died suddenly in the last few years since 2020, 21. Hint, hint. And I think this is what we need to do. We need to keep reminding people that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. There is an elephant in the room, and these beings, as I keep calling them, are trying to scare us. They're trying to cover up their crimes. And basically, there's a common denominator which nobody wants to talk about, regrettably, apart from ourselves. So we just need to keep reminding people, really. And I did a little video on it on my channel, Love and Freedom. So I'll put a link in in that. My Sherborne outreach, one of my videos regarding the died suddenly banner that we had. Try and get the word out there as best we can, really. That's the main thing I wanted to say, I suppose.
Yes, no, that's great, David. I'm glad you're out there actively activating your sovereignty, but it'd be interesting to see what people feel, what constitutes your sovereignty. There's a lot of oxymorons like being a sovereign citizen or a freeman of the land, and those are easily picked apart, I'm afraid. Yes, so being a sort of seeing yourself as a civilian or a person of any kind is putting yourself in the legal fiction rather than the sovereign being. So yes, be very careful not to mix your language. And Althea will be onto this one. Because obviously she's working for the Sovereign Project now, and you could be tripped up so easily with the language. So it's what do we feel is what's our sovereignty? What do we feel we need to express as and are we ready? Are we ready to become sovereign? Are we ready to move into adulthood and take on the mantle? And I listen to this song because where have all the men gone? And having had I don't mean that obviously to people on here, but the fact that I love all the Blade Runner stuff and how they're chopping down all these devices now, laser devices that have been placed on traffic lights, which can take all sorts of information, and then if they want to send out a sort of bit of radiation laser, they can do as well. So because obviously it's dangerous and they're protecting themselves, more and more men are sort of standing up to wanting to protect the women and children and their country. So how do you feel about that? And you, obviously, David, you're prepared to stand up for yourself and others. But it's not something to take lightly because it is a big responsibility, isn't it?
It is. I mean, very briefly, during the lockdown, I was arrested a few times for opposing lockdown, and twice I was strip searched in custody. And both times the so-called police, said they were doing it because they didn't know who I was, because I refused to give them my name and address. Now, that was a violation of my bodily autonomy. Absolutely. And it was done deliberately to intimidate me. There's no other way about it. But, I did it anyway and didn't give them my name and address. They found out later on, but only through their own investigating. But it's done to intimidate. And as Althea rightly said, a lot of the time these things are put in place to make things as inconvenient as possible, to intimidate us and grind us down, just as they did during COVID, where they did the infrared temperature things on our pineal glands, all done deliberately.
Holding a gun at your head, it's outrageous. So can you bring charges against strip searching?
Well, I'm trying to explore an option, that avenue on one of my detentions in custody. You know, I had 5 of them in total, but this one I'm trying to pursue because they think they can get away with it in their arrogance. But everything they did in that period of time was illegal, and we will be pursuing them, and they will be held accountable eventually.
Yes. Did they charge you with anything?
Well, they not. I don't think they did. No, I don't recall they did. The thing is, what they do is they take you into custody, and then they avoid charging you, because if they know they put you on, if they do charge you, then basically it's on record that you've been kept in custody. Whereas if they don't charge you, it's harder for them to say you were in custody. So they cover themselves by not charging you. Otherwise, it leaves a paper trail.
But it's lawful to protest.
Well, it should be, but during COVID, it wasn't, apparently. You know, it's just bonkers times, wasn't it, really?
Absolutely mad. Well, it's not. It's pretty mad still, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things that they are, trying to put us into the fear mode, as you say, because when we're in fear, we're much more likely to give our freedoms away. And
Yeah.
that's the people on here. We're not going to give our freedoms away, are we? No, no, we're not.
Can I just interpose? David was fined. Have you forgotten that, David?
No, I didn't mention that bit. Yeah, I know I was fined as well.
That's the important bit.
All right, I was fined as well.
Okay, thanks, Eileen, for the reminder of that. So
Thank you for that.
David.
Yeah, £850 fine
For what?
for standing in the street as a snowman. I was dressed as a snowman. It's Christmas, and I was on a demonstration against lockdown, and they took me into custody dressed as a snowman, as you do. Hoping to melt into the crowd, but they didn't allow me to. No cloud.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
It's like something. It is like something out of an Orwellian sort of dystopian nightmare, isn't it? When you think of what we have to go through over the last few years. So, David, have you got anything else you'd like to say for the moment?
No, I'm fine, thank you. I just want to say briefly, they also arrested Father Christmas that day, believe it or not.
Father Christmas.
Father Christmas got arrested.
Get off likely.
I think they escaped. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for all you're doing. Really appreciate it, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing as well. But
thank you.
Every little bit counts, as they say in that in that advert. So I'm going to come over to David Baines. If you'd like to unmute yourself, and David, if you can mute yourself, and then we'll come to you, Eileen, afterwards.
Thank you,
David,
S.A.S.
You're welcome.
Hi. Long time no see.
I know, it's lovely to see you again.
Well, I've done a lot of work, and my background is instrument electrical design engineer. I worked offshore for, I don't know whether you can see that. I worked offshore for about 25 years.
An oil rig, is it? Yeah.
An oil designing the oil platforms.
Wow.
I finished in 1992 after Piper Alpha blew up and killed 168 men. I decided to go and teach a Tai Chi class in Devon. I travelled down to Devon from Teesside, which is a 900-mile journey for 10 years. And just to give you a background, that from about 1994, I began to do all my research in medical and philosophical and engineering, combining a lot. I've had peer reviews research done on MS and ME sufferers. So my background is basically finding out who I really am. That's the sort of thing that, I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah.
That they were the health problems I had. I have none whatsoever now. I had a sciatica and things like that. I have none whatsoever. The tuition that I was taught in Devon was to work with fractals.
Oh.
Now fractals, and as you can appreciate, our whole body is a frequency of fractals. And going back to what you were saying before, or Rachel, about data centers, your data center in your body is at the back of your knee. Of all places, it's the back of your knee, and that's why people need kneecaps through medical services, which they don't really succeed whatsoever, because your electrical system, and everyone, in fact animals and every creature on the planet, works in a spiral. It's a spiral that, as above, so below, like that. And that's all your electricity. And it's going right from your head right through to your toes. And it's 24/7. Every cell in your body is going in a four-dimensional system. Your mitochondria is still connected to this spiral. Right above, so below. This is all propaganda that we've been given by parents going back to the very beginning of religion. And if you consider one arm has the electrical side like that, and the other arm has the electrical side like that, when you join the two together, as in prayer, you negate your heart energy. You virtually negate your heart energy. You need to keep your hands open to appreciate the energy between your hands.
Yes.
Because you are the creator.
Well, I did hear, yeah, that you...
That actually negates it.
Ah, so it would be that...
You need, and feel the spaces between your fingers. Feel the spaces between the fingers. Because that space is every space between your heartbeat. One space, heartbeat, space, all the time. So keep your hands open, because that's what your electricity is working 24/7 in a spiral. Now, going on from that, when I mentioned about a data center, this is self-healing. Your data center is the back of your kneecaps.
Wow.
That's what I did in Cornwall many years ago. It's a fractal of the body. The kneecaps is like a mirror, a mini heart. You've got the mini heart in both kneecaps. And this applies to all animals and things like that.
Sure.
Now, I need to bring my camera over to my therapy bed.
Okay.
So please bear with me.
Will.
Because,
Is that why thugs say they're going to kneecap you?
eh?
Is that why thugs say I'm going to kneecap you?
Exactly.
Right.
Go back to Northern Ireland and where they were kneecapping, getting rid of it. Yeah? Cruel. Absolutely
Messing
cruel.
with our data centres.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you've heard of the Fibonacci sequence,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah, the
If
spiral.
you put your hand up now, put your hand up in front of you. Everybody put the hand up in front of you. Your little finger is 0.
0.
0. Nothing. Nothing. Go take your Fibonacci sequence up to 9, which is a thumb. 9 is a manifested energy. 0 is unmanifested. 9 is manifested. Whether it's a vaccine, whatever it is, 9 is a vaccine, or it's a manifested energy. No matter what it is. 0 is nothing. I've got plenty of documentation if anybody wants it. But there's a sequence of numbers on the Fibonacci sequence, 0 and 9, 90, like a tadpole. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's your Fibonacci sequence. Everybody on the planet has this Fibonacci sequence on the hands. Yeah?
Some people have got M's on their hand, haven't they?
Right, it doesn't matter. Your fingers.
I think it's okay.
The small finger is 0 on both hands, 0. The big finger is 9, 9-0, manifested. Unmanifested, manifested. You bring the two on your knee, on your right knee, you bring the two, the 9-0 together, and the little finger goes underneath the kneecap. The kneecap. So you bridge, what you're doing, you're effectively, I'll show you this one. If you remember, I can't,
Oh yeah.
yeah, your spiral goes from the earth through the left leg, up round the heart, round the head, and out through the right leg. And that is 24/7 right through your whole life. It's a recycling process from the left leg out onto the right leg. Because you are the earth, you are part of the earth, you're connected to the earth. So your left leg receives the energy and the output is on the right leg. Okay. So that's the basic energy.
So, David, when we're told that when we move our limbs, when we walk, it creates an electrical charge. Is that right?
You create an electrical charge 24/7.
Right. Okay. So that's
When
what
you
they say,
walk,
movement is life. Life
yeah,
is movement.
you are pure energy. You are pure energy. If you go back to the military thousands and thousands of years ago, they all started by the left foot, by the left quick march,
Right.
because they had all the rifles and all the heavy spears in the right hand.
Ah.
The left foot always starts first. By the left quick march.
Oh, I nearly almost went forward with that one.
Yeah, and then you go forward, and by the left quick march also puts your heart forward before the rest of your body.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a case of simplifying it down to the very root of how we exist in the electrical energy.
In the electrical field, yeah, that we live in. How did you heal your ailments, David?
And that's why quite often we're so afraid of these frequencies, no matter what they are. We're so afraid because we've divorced ourselves from our own energy.
Well, thank you for reminding us.
Yeah, it's so incredibly simple. We need to look at that 0, nothing. It could be a venison, it could be bite, it could be vaccine or whatever. No thing whatsoever, nothing. That is 9 manifested. 9. So you bring the two 9s together as a bridge over your knee. The left 0 goes under the kneecap.
Ah, okay.
Yeah? That's the weakest part. If you ever watch any martial arts, the first point of connection that they go for the opponent is to get them on the kneecap and they go down.
Yes.
Straight away. That's a martial art. 0, boom, out.
Can I ask you, David, how did you heal your ailments?
I don't have any ailments.
No, but you did. You showed a list of things that you did have.
I did have, yeah.
How did you
I used to play the piano, and the medical term arthritis was so severe I couldn't even touch the keys. I couldn't even touch either the white keys or everything. And that's the state I was in. Plus I had sciatica and all sorts of things. I have nothing now. And it's only because I've worked with 0 and 9, bridged the gap from the right side of the body over to the left. So the left, as it takes in the energy from the earth, it bypasses all this and goes out quicker, out of the right leg. You don't, all you feel is just this surge of energy going through your body. And it's virtually nothing because your heart loves your body. There's very little connection. Very little,
Well,
very
we're
little.
disconnected, aren't we? We've been disconnected through our shoes and through pavement
Yeah.
and everything that sort of stops that
Yeah,
energy connection.
so what I was going to show you, I've got my therapy bed over here.
Okay,
I'll
you show us
show
your
it.
therapy bed.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, if anybody else has got anything they want to share or discuss afterwards, after I leave, please put your hand
I
up
don't know how
and I can come to you.
you can see that.
Yeah, I can see your therapy bed. Looks very
Right.
comfortable.
Right.
Like mine, actually. Oh, you going to get on it?
You put a cushion, a hard cushion, under
You need.
your right leg.
Oh, okay. Cushion under your right leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then little finger under your kneecap, thumbs connected together. And you sleep like that.
Oh, you sleep like that.
It's so simple.
And you use the energy, the charge of the earth to heal the body.
Yeah.
Do you have to set an intention?
Your two thumbs are connected together is the bridge.
Right.
And the little finger is 0.
The left hand, yeah?
So if you have any statistics, you find that most injuries, most illnesses are caused are affected on the right side of the body because it's preventing recycling back to the earth.
Okay. So that's what you did to heal your ailments?
And you do this every night, virtually every time you can lie down, your little finger goes into the kneecap and the two thumbs come together. Can you see that?
Yes, I can. Can everybody else see that? Be able to watch this in the recording as well. So, David, is it true? Can you confirm that the Fibonacci sequence was reversed coming in through the grid?
I cannot hear what you're saying. Actually, I'll have to get down. Whew.
You're all right. Take it easy. Thank you for demonstrating that. I heard. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So I heard that the Fibonacci sequence, the codes that come in through a grid, through actually a Stargate in Iran for the Earth grid, had been reversed.
That's not a problem for you and I. Not a problem. Because we, no matter what portal it is, we have our own portal, our own individual portal.
So you're sticking with the sovereign status.
Yeah, exactly. We are sovereign to who we are.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's very fascinating.
You're very welcome.
For someone with an
0, nothing, no thing, 0.
Both
9.
Are both fingers 0? Both little fingers.
Yeah, yeah. If you ever see a gymnast on a 4-inch parallel beam, they go like that. The zero comes together in the mind. The mind is completely blank. 0. And the connecting
figures.
the feet are connecting to the 4-inch plank. 0. Gymnasts.
Okay, so
it's so simple, and yet Fibonacci sequence is 99% the design of everything in nature, including all our financial systems. It's connected to the Fibonacci sequence.
Fantastic. But if it's been reversed, it might have an effect on how things are playing out on the planet.
Yeah, but it's entirely up to the individual. If they want any information from me, I can send whatever they want.
Well, please put your contact details.
There's my contact on the chat box.
Well, it's fascinating. Thank you for sharing that, David,
Very welcome.
because it's
This-
really important to know
this
these
is-
things.
With the trees, that is the noise. This is the noise that gets rid of the dust in your heart. Gets rid of the dust in your
Come on,
heart.
everyone, get rid of the dust in your heart.
And this is the leaves of the tree. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thanks, David.
Life is a giggle.
Life is movement and life is a giggle. Yes, it needs to keep laugh. Thank you for sharing. That's wonderful.
Very welcome.
I'm going to go take care of yourself. That's fascinating. But please take a note of David's link if anybody, or his email if anybody wants to find out further. We're going to come over to Eileen now. So David, if you could, I'll mute you. There we go. And Eileen, if you could unmute, and it's your turn. Thank you for your patience. You've been very patient. Thanks, David.
Yeah, it's been so interesting. I shall have to watch it several times again to actually take in everything that David was saying, because I was busy making my comments, because I was going to comment on people's things that people had said, and I thought, no, I'll just come on to what I was going to say. I'll forget my response to everybody. That can do another time. But the reason I completely go in another direction, I wanted to let everybody know that I found a channel on my little DAB radio by my bed. You click on and you get like BBC One, click on BBC Two, click on BBC Three, and there's one called Angel.
Oh.
I've had this little radio about 18 months now, and I thought, what is Angel? So I clicked onto Angel, and it's all nostalgia. It's all the songs that go back to, I think it says 1900s, but I know it's definitely the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I think it stops at the end of the 60s. But it just, I mean, they were reflecting on life as it was like in the 1950s when I was a child. And like the presenters would go back in time, some of them sound quite elderly, and they're playing all these old records that you don't hear on the radio very much these days. And at about half an hour, half an hour talking about Alma Cogan. Somebody's going to say, who's Alma Cogan? And Vera Lynn, half an hour on Vera Lynn. And I just feel it's just completely opposite to what David was talking about. This is all for the heart and emotions. But it was just lovely to have all this music, all these songs and records that are no longer played. So I thought I must tell everybody. I don't know. If you go on the internet, you'll find it. Angel Radio, and they're based in Havant, down in Portsmouth area. And also, somebody was mentioned, Marty Wilde, Joe Brown, Angela Rippon, Alan Titchmarsh, Anne Widdicombe, and others have all praised it and said how they're listening to it. I mean, I just found it, and it makes my day. I just tune on different times of days, and some of it may not interest me. But on Saturdays, between 11 and 12:30, it's the 50s. And on Saturday afternoons, 4:30 to 6, it's the 1940s. And I said, I sort of dip in, and I said, it's all old stuff.
Well, it's brought a smile to your face anyway, Eileen. That's good.
It just takes you back, and somehow, you sort of connect with things as they were so different. Life was so different. And just by the sound of the music, the songs, I just feel as though you go back in a different time. You see.
Rapping.
So just thought I'd like to say that. Everything else couldn't wait because it was just my comments on people's what they've said. So
well, no, I was just going to say, well, we've got a minute or so. Was there anything out of the subjects that you wanted to respond to at all?
Well, it's partly, first of all, it was, what's her name? Where's my number one? Oh yeah, what's the lady's name there? There we are.
Althea,
yeah. I mean, I listen to programs watch programs like Rip Off Britain, and because there's so many scams, I think they're introducing, I mean, it's got a downside, isn't it? They're introducing so many things now that you've got to prove who you are, that you are genuine. So this is why they're asking for all this information, because people are being scammed so much. And so I think a lot of it's like everything, isn't it? There's a positive and a negative. And the positive is that people want to buy her kittens will know that she's genuine because she's been sort of through the system checked out. So that was it.
I know, but I just remember, Eileen, when I went to the Glastonbury years and years and years ago, Glastonbury Festival, they had very strict protocols on all of their tickets with all sort of holograms and all sorts of things, so there's no way you could copy them. However, within half an hour of me getting to the entrance, there were some Liverpudlian scammers who had managed to copy a hologram within about 2 hours of getting there. They'd made a replica of it, and people were buying the tickets for like, so say the tickets were normally like 500, they were selling them for like 200, and people were lapping it up. So anything can be replicated, anything
Yes,
can be got.
absolutely, absolutely.
The thing is with the ID, the digital ID, is at the moment you've got living, breathing men and women of the soil. So you're a living, breathing vessel of God, God's child, and then they've got you as a fictional person, which is a personality or someone that wears a mask. So the two sort of separate identities at the moment: the real you, and then a copy of you that was made with your birth certificate. Now that copy of you, what they're trying to do at the moment, I can say, well, I'm a living, breathing woman. I'm not this fictitious dead character that you created. That is not me. But when you do digital ID, you do facial recognition and videos and all the rest of it, they're merging the person with the real living, breathing individual. So that's what they're trying to do, is trying to close the gap, so that they'll say, oh, listen, it is you are the person, because look, we can see you here and you're living and breathing. So that was the trick they're trying to get around at the moment, is to merge you into the person and make it more difficult for you to say, no, this isn't me. That's what they're doing, in my opinion anyway. But
I'm just glad that I don't want to fly anymore.
no, you just need to tune in to Angel Radio, and all your worries and cares will be lifted away, as you can transport yourself back to a time when we were deluded and we didn't even realise. So with that, everybody, I'm just going to give you my little chime to say we are now coming to the end of our session for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this platform. It wouldn't be the same without you. It'd be pretty sad on my own, or myself and Rachel. And I thank you all for all the comments that you've made today and for your contributions. We'll be back. I think it will be Rachel back on the 15th of June, Monday the 15th of June, a couple of weeks' time. Meanwhile, if you've got any burgeoning requests for any sort of subjects that you'd like to chat around, because obviously it's your platform, so you can always email Rachel on the email that she sends you with the link, and just say, these are some of the subjects I'd like to talk about, or can we discuss this? Because we come up with the subjects, we come up with the things we talk about, but I'm really, really happy, I'm sure Rachel will be as well, is to listen to what you want to talk about, what you'd like to cover, any specialist areas that you'd like to talk about. Like obviously David is an electrical engineer specialist, and he shared some of his very helpful information with us today. So if you've got anything you'd like that to share, please come forward and do feel free, that we'd love to hold the space for you to do that. So thank you very much. Have a great week. Obviously, it's only Monday, but before we know it, it'll be Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And please encourage anybody else that you think that has a voice and would like to share their voice. Send them to Rachel's link, so that you can then ask them to join up, and then other people can come and join on, because obviously the more the merrier, and they're all very welcome. So if you would like to give us a wave, and I will end the call for today. Take care. Thanks for joining us, and look forward to seeing you again on the People Speaks Out very shortly. Take care in the meantime, and have fun, and don't stress too much. Just tune into Angel Radio FM.